Hi, in the previous videos, we finished solving some few exercises from the book. So now we're gonna go to a new subject and we will start by an example to solve how to solve that. So we have a function which says a of x equal to the eighth root of 2 plus absolute value of x, and it says express this as f of g of h x. This is what we're looking for. So what want from us, it wants for this function to be written as a combination of three functions, and in which the g is function for h and f is function for g of h. So let's go for that. And since this means we have three functions in our problem. The first one is h of x. Why we started with the h of x? Because it's the smallest one, because we're gonna go for h to be function for g to be function for h. That's why we're gonna start with the h, because it's the smallest one. So basically whoever over here, we're gonna start with that one, and then we have the g of x, and finally we have f of x. And what we want to do is write this function as f of x, in which the x over here represents g of h. It's not just regular x. So what we want to do is find f of x in which this x equal is or g of h. So basically we need first to find the g of h, and then we're gonna find f of x. So in order to do that, we're gonna give, we could do this in two ways. I will start with the first way, in which what I will do is I will say that h of x is equal to all of these. So I say h of x equal to 2 plus the absolute value of x. And after that, what I'm gonna say g of x equals just only x, and f of x also equal to x. So what's gonna happen over here, first I'm gonna find the g of x or g of hx, in which the g is function for h. And what's gonna happen over here, instead of writing the x of the g of x, we're gonna write the x h of x instead. So what's gonna happen over here, we're gonna write the whole value for the absolute value. So yeah, we got g of x. This is our first value, and now we're gonna go to the f of x to get the f of x, in which case, as you guys know, in which we said x equal to g of hx. So what we're gonna write, f of g of hx. So instead of writing the x of the f of x, we're gonna write the g of h, and g of h is equal to this value, so we're gonna write it over here. So this was the first solution, and we got our solution. And we're gonna go now to the second solution, and let's go for it. And in this case, what we're gonna do also, we're gonna start with the h of x, because the smallest one has, and then we have the g of x, and then we have the f of x also. But this time what we will do is, since what we're looking for we're looking to get this function, as you guys know, we're looking to write our function as this way, 2 plus absolute value of x, and it's the root, the 8th root. And in order to do that, what we will do is first we're gonna represent x h of x as the absolute value of x. So this is only this one. And g of x, what I'm gonna do is write it at 2 plus x. And regarding the f of x, I will just type it this way. Or absolute, yeah, type it this way. So what's gonna happen over here? First, I'm gonna get g of x, and in this case, I'm gonna write 2, and instead of writing the x for the g of x, I'm gonna represent the whole h of x. So this is what we're gonna happen. I had this over here, and after that, I'm gonna get the f of g of h of x, which is the f of x, and in that case, I'm gonna write everything except instead of writing the x, I'm gonna write this value. So we get our solution.